Good morning. It is crazy bedhead hair day. Goodness gracious, look at that. Anyways, not a beautiful sunrise today because we're in a new place. But anyways, today is Doctrine and Covenants, section 101, verses 51 through 75. And for the main majority of these verses, he's continuing on the parable of the vineyard and the watchtower, and then he does the parable of the wheat and the tares, and then he talks about gathering together as a people. So anyways, there's nothing in the Ludlow because all these things have been topics before, and so there's nothing in the Ludlow that I want to talk about, but I do want to talk about a verse that stood out to me, verse 57 from the parable of the vineyard. So where we left off, the enemy had just come through and broken up the vineyard, burned it down. And the Lord of the vineyard comes to his servants and says, "Why? What was the cause of this? Why did this happen?" And then he goes through and he says, "I need you to go. I've bought this land with money. I need you to go back and redeem my vineyard." And in verse 57 he says, "Therefore get ye straightway unto my land, break down the walls of mine enemies, throw down their tower, and scatter their watchmen." And so if we're taking this parable to mean the building of temples, and if we had a watchtower, if we use the temple as a watchtower to know the enemy's advances and to be prepared for his attacks, then here it says, break down the walls of my enemies, throw down their towers, and scatter their watchmen. And so the thoughts that just came to me on this one was, how can I break down my enemy's walls, break down his tower, scatter his watchmen? How can I be, instead of on the defense, how can I be on the offense? How can I, it's inevitable that Satan breaks through sometimes, and we have to be on the defensive, but now in those areas where I've allowed him to break down the walls and break down the towers, how can I take them back? How can I take down his defenses? And does this make sense? It's making sense in my head. But in those areas where I've become lax, or that I want to improve, or I need improvement, my hair is so bad. How can I take those back? How can I break down the defenses he's made in my life? Anyways, that's all I've got. The boys are yelling again. Alright, so that was D&C 101, verses 51 through 75. I will see you tomorrow.